Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the house's magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cohn II, and with me, as always, is...
Sesame, Sexy, and Cardo.
Have a pretty high opinion of yourself now, don't we?
I'm feeling a little bit sexy, yeah.
Okay.
The reason why is because I'm a piece of technology, and I'm being controlled by a computer, or I am a computer, rather. And my name stands for sentient
That's,
something.
Sensual Environmental Control System.
Yeah, there it is, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Which somehow means sexy.
Yeah, somehow. I'm not sure how I worked that out, but
Yeah.
I mean, it could be sex, S-E.X.Y.
Yeah.
So why couldn't I just gone by sex instead of sexy? Oh, who knows? No matter.
Yeah. Hard to say. Yeah. So, years before there was, Alexa and Siri, there was sexy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh.
Prototype.
Yes.
Didn't go too well, but
So I mean, this film today that we're covering, called The Urge to Kill, aka the
Attack of the Killer Computer.
Attack of the Killer Computer. Yes. A film way ahead of its time, and yet somehow behind the times as well. Because the concept is very, poignant to this day, that, technology, if we give it too much power, it might take over, give it too much control, it could kill us.
It literally could, yes.
Yeah. Or kill us if we were, scantily clad women.
Yeah, very specific targets, yes. Oddly and gratuitously specific, yeah.
And so this film came out in 1989. So,
really,
years.
It looked like it was like 1984.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. It was very behind its times and ahead of its times.
Mm-hmm.
So it's directed by and written by Derek Ford, who is a British filmmaker known for movies such as The Swappers, Keep It Up, Jack, Diversions, The Girl from Starship Venus, I Am a Groupie.
No, I am.
Well, that's the name of one of the movies.
Okay.
Yeah. There was, What's Up, Nurse? What's Up, Super Doc? The House That Vanished. Computer Husbands.
Was that a companion piece to this one?
I don't know. It came out in 1972.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he's really ahead of his time there.
Yeah. First writing credit was for a movie called Stork Talk in 1962.
Okay.
And then he's got A Study in Terror, Intrigue, Armchair Theater. He wrote the screenplay for one episode of the TV series The Saint, which was a big British television series starring Roger Moore before he became James Bond.
Right, yeah.
So he did something of note.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
And by that, I mean he was, the guy who wrote the screenplays to What's Up, Nurse and What's Up, Super Doc.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And Don't Open Till Christmas.
That's a good one, too.
I want to see that one.
Classic. I want to see all the movies he made. Okay. I wonder if those DVDs that my friend Sean left me, he didn't die or anything, but left me, sounded kind of weird. Like, he left me in his will and testament. No, where it's like each DVD had like 10 or 15 movies, and there's like a stack of like 100 of them, and a lot of them were just really what's that?
Bizarre movies. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them were like Italian horror movies, but some of them were different. I got to go through them and actually check out to see if
there's anything good we can cover for the future.
Yeah. Oh God, I still got to go through. There's so many movies in there. I got to go on the other computer to probably check it out because my laptop CD player doesn't really work anymore, so I can't really check anything there. But yeah.
So back to The Urge to Kill.
I have an urge to kill right now because the movie's so bad. No, not really.
Initial thoughts here.
I loved it. Unironically, I loved it. I thought it was one of the best movies I've seen in my life, just because it's so bad. But it was.
That's the same thing you said about Joshua in the.
Well, it's because I've been finding these movies that are just so terrible, but it's like there's like a genius behind the terribleness of it. It's very hard to describe. It's a very niche feeling I get. So I know I said the same thing about Joshua and the Promised Land. It's true.
Yeah.
Every movie I see that's bad like this becomes my new favorite bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'll go back, I'll go back in time and watch the older ones. But no, I thought this was like perfect. Like how like everything came together in like the worst way possible, which made it the best way possible.
Yeah.
In a very weird twist. Like for example, you told me how they had to dub in the whole audio because something messed up with the microphone or something like that. So they had to.
Yeah. Well, basically they did. They didn't have a microphone. So
I see.
They shot the entire movie was shot without sync sound. There was a tape recorder on set to act as a guide track, and then everything was dubbed later in ADR, which is audio dialogue replacement or automatic dialogue replacement, whatever whatever it means. But So
you gotta imagine this is 1989 when this movie came out. So how many hours went into doing that? Like tedious,
to try to match up the mouth movements and stuff. But the fact that what really helped probably in their dubbing process was the fact that everybody delivered their lines like they were reading a cue card. So,
yes,
it helped. Yes.
And it did help. Like, what is going on here? There is someone hiding in the studio. Show yourself.
Yeah.
Stuff like that,
Yeah, so let's get into this.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
What happens here?
Oh my God. So there's this dude who's a music producer. His name is Bono or Bono. I forgot his last name.
Bono Zorro.
That's right. Bono Zorro. Definitely
Yes.
not a fake name. And
Or Zorro.
he's like this,
But they pronounced it Zorro, but it's spelled Zorro like the it's like he's the lost, child of Zorro and Sonny Bono.
yeah.
Yes.
That's why, yeah. That would have been another addition to the movie that would make it better. But he's like, your sleazy music producer who, basically, have sex with the, upcoming, female artists that want to, break into the business. Basically, unfortunately, during that era, that was not seen as like being like bad or uncommon. I mean, it was seen as sleazy, but it wasn't like seen as like a crime. Essentially, it was like, oh well, that's what you gotta do to break into business. Sometimes it's gotta take your lumps, and whatever type of thing. So there's this girl named Melanie who's hiding in the studio late at night when they're like doing some mixing or whatever, and they catch her, and then she wants Bono Zorro to listen to her demo tape, and then
Which we never get to hear. Yeah.
We never get to hear ever because he keeps promising to listen to it and he never does. And then because he just wants to screw her, and his partner, the dude who works with them in the studio, he's like, I'm going, like, hey, like, enjoy your time, type of thing. Because like, they make these little lines, like sleazy lines where it's like, hey, like, where does she come from? It's like, I don't know, but I know where she's going, all this kind of just, sleazy.
And then there's like a part where he puts on some music and tries to get her to dance, and says to her, and she says, I used to be a dancer.
Oh, of course.
And
I'm
then,
like, oh boy.
And then his response is, great. I used to be a virgin.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm like, oh my God, dude.
The moment I saw that, I turned off the movie for a bit because I was like, what the fuck is this?
Well, that's the thing. This movie was essentially a softcore pornography film masquerading as like an actual movie.
Well, it's
I had no
what they
idea.
call sexploitation films.
Yeah, I had no idea when I thought of it. I just thought it was going to be some bad, computer killer movie. And here I am, is like basically like every other scene. There's like nude breasts, like for like 3 minutes straight. Like, like.
See, and I'll tell you, I took a history of cult film class when I was in college. And I saw movies weirder than this. So it's not bad, like a lot of, like, we saw, like, sexploitation films, blaxploitation, like indie films that were cult films, and, like, just, like, experimental films, different things that were all weird. But this is up there with a lot of those that I saw in that class, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are weirder movies. I mean, every time you find a weird movie, you can find a weirder one and just kind of go down the rabbit hole until there's nothing left, But like, so he basically, promises that he might, maybe ever so slightly, listen to her tape as long as she fucks him. So they go to his apartment, which is like all like tricked out with the computer, like he's like obsessed with. Also, too, So he's friends with what they call like a madam or a madame, I guess, or I don't know how you pronounce it, madame.
I never got that. So she was a madam?
I think so. I mean, I didn't look it up. I'm pretty sure she was because
they never really spelled out what his relationship to this woman was.
Because she always has access to sex workers that can call them at will. It just seems like. And plus, too, it seemed like they implied that they have this sort of working relationship where whenever a young woman who wants to be a musician he kind of nudges her in the direction of the madam so that she can become one of her new sex workers.
Ah, okay. I missed that somehow. I was just trying to figure out, like, because I mean, it's also kind of implied, and I wasn't sure that, like, she has a thing for Bono.
Well, that was also implied too, that even though this is her business, that she caught feelings for him, which is, not what she's supposed to do because she wants to, run her business. But it did seem that she, was actually kind of falling for him a little bit, which I'm not sure why, because the guy's total sleazebag. But then again, she's also a madam, so.
I mean, not to go on looks or anything. He's not even really that good looking either. So I'm just trying to figure this out. I mean, it's
somewhat.
This is like the the '80s. It's not like he's Don Johnson or something. He's just some kind of,
he's just some dude, who he almost kind of reminds me. I don't know if it's the same guy or not. Probably not. But there was this movie from I think it was 2003, and it was about the adult film star. His name was like Johnny Watt or something like that. I don't remember. And it was a movie about his life, and basically, I forgot the name of the movie too. Basically, he ends up kind of running afoul with this guy who was like a really rich dude who was like one of his biggest fans, and he was like the Johnny guy became like addicted to drugs and stuff, and he was kind of hanging around like a bunch of drug addicts. He kind of wanted to be a part of their crew, but they didn't really fully accept them. So he's like, "Oh, I know this guy who's really rich. We can rob his house or whatever, because he always gives me the key to his house." It kind of looked like that actor. I doubt it's really him, but it kind of looked.
This actor stopped acting in 1992.
Okay, probably because of this movie, but
stopped. Hold on a second. Oh, actually, let me see. Actor. He Yeah, it looks like 1992 was his last acting thing, and that was just one movie. That there was a movie called Carry On Columbus. It was the last movie. But there was a Carry On series of films in Great Britain that were like these comedy things. All the movies started with Carry On, and they were like and they were about like historical events and stuff, and they were like, really supposed to be funny. I've never seen any of them, but but he played the shaman in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he died in 2008. His name is Peter Gordeno.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah,
I like that name. It's a cool name. Yeah. So he's got this tricked out house. But everything runs on computer. Even the door shutting. 'Cause apparently he can't just open and shut a door on his own. He has to have a computer do it for him. And he's kind of showing off his gadgets and whatnot. And he sleeps with the woman who wants, him to listen to her tape. He kind of likes her a little bit, so he has her stay in his home while he goes to work or do some business or whatever. And then, he said that he'll listen to her tape, when he gets back, in the evening. So she ends up calling one of her girlfriends over, like, you'll never guess whose house I'm in right now, type of thing, And it's so like they kind of have like, a lesbian-y kind of, well, maybe not lesbian, like a bi kind of moment where they fool around with each other. And the other woman goes to take a shower, and then the water turns into like acid, I'm guessing. And pretty much just like burns her face off, or
yeah, it burns her to the point where she goes down the drain.
Yeah, so basically, I'm thinking it's like acid.
Yeah,
because S.E.X.Y is basically cleaning up her crime scene essentially, and
I think I looked it up, and to completely dissolve a human body, it has to be at the temperature of like 100,000 degrees.
So I'm pretty sure it was not just hot water.
Yeah,
because otherwise that would also disintegrate probably the everything else too, not just. So yeah, it's probably acid, So then,
but wouldn't the acid like dissolve the?
I don't know. Yeah, probably. Yeah, it was probably just some like stupid thing they came up with. So the S.E.X.Y dissolves the woman, and then Melanie can't find her, so she starts looking for her. No, sorry, I got it wrong. No. Okay, no, I got this fucked up. So no, her friend was in a tanning booth.
Yeah, she dissolved in there.
Yeah, the laser like basically burned her tits off, and then it caused her to explode or whatever. And then Melanie was the one, I think, who took the
which
shower.
is an old trope that is in like every movie ever.
Yeah.
And the movie you were talking about earlier is called Wonderland. It starred Val Kilmer as Johnny, as John Holmes.
John Holmes, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I was pretty sure that that's what you're talking about, so I had to look it up. So yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Anyways,
that movie.
Just in case anybody was interested.
That's a really super intense movie.
Yeah.
You got to be in the right mood for that movie because it's very intense.
I remember when it came out, it took me like 3 seconds to watch it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a leisurely watch.
No.
It's very, very intense. Yeah, and because he was basically, he probably murdered someone even though he was acquitted. But you know, it's the whole thing. But he I'm trying to remember, did Melanie die from the shower? Or was it someone else later on? I don't remember. Someone died from a shower. I know that much.
Melanie died in the shower.
Okay, that was her.
Yeah, I think a couple people died in the shower. Because I think there was another woman later that did. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. Because there's like so many naked women in this movie, it's hard to keep track. But
yeah.
So yeah, him and his friend Madame, what's her name? I forget her name.
Was it Jane?
Jane, yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Jane, he's basically like trying to show off Melanie to Jane, like a trophy basically. And then they get to the house and then he can't find her. And like this goes on for like 5 to 10 minutes, like just wasting time. Like, she's got to be in here somewhere. I wonder where she could have been. And it's just like, okay, we get it. You can't find her. Like you don't need to look for her in real time as if we're like in the room with them. Like it's a movie, like,
Yeah.
But the movie was only 80 minutes long, so they had to fill time. So
there's a lot of filler in this movie. Yeah, Jane was played by Sarah Hope Walker, who I'm trying to figure out if is the same person who's also a novelist now. So
she looks really familiar. I know that much.
I don't know
what, but
it's not her. She was in Don't Open Till Christmas, I believe, but
okay.
There's 2 Sarah Hope Walkers on IMDb, and they've got them mixed up somewhat, I think. So,
I see. Okay.
So, because I think one of them is the author, and then one of them is not, and it's like they credited the wrong one, certain things.
Right.
So, anyways, yeah.
No, that's fine. I was wondering, yeah, but oh man, I don't know. It's like he just goes on and on, like, and she kind of did like the foreshadowing early in the movie because she was talking to one of her sex workers or maybe one of like another madam, and she's like, oh, like men and their toys or whatever. I swear to God, like he can't do anything without sexy or whatever, or like maybe she's jealous, like these little like hints, whatever of like.
I mean, it's like what's happening based on the alternate title to the movie, anyways.
Well, yeah, exactly. Attack of the Killer Computer, but it's like you need to throw it in your face even more. Like it's just the plot of the movie.
And then it's also there's one point where like after Melanie and her friend basically disappear and they can't find them after they were killed. I think it was after that Jane and him are talking, and they talk about women, and they talk about the fact that they're like Kleenex and they're disposable.
No. Yeah.
That made me cringe so much.
I know. Even she's saying that because she's a madam. She doesn't care. She makes money from these sex workers, who gives a shit, type of thing. It's just a very weird arrangement.
They're like Kleenex, use them once and throw them away or something like that. They
this dude was definitely a sex addict for sure. Because that's the other thing I got to say. So while Melanie was doing her little dance for him, he was calling up Jane, basically asking her if she could do him a solid, or maybe he could do her a solid, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But sorry, that was a little boom, kind of thing. But a little bit on the nose, but and she's like, dude,
well,
like,
that's the way you like it. Huh.
Yeah. but like, she's like, dude, I'm in bed. It's 3 a.m. Like, no, I'm not doing this with you. So it's like, he's calling her up while Melanie's already doing a little striptease, not really striptease, but doing like a somewhat exotic dance for him. And it's like, dude, like, how much do you need sex? Like, this is a little bit like of a problem at this point. Maybe seek counseling, preferably not a female counselor, because you probably try to do something with that person too, but yeah, and then so, she invites some girls over that probably, one of her workers. And that's the other thing too. So he's really creepy in the sense, I mean, everything he does is creepy, but he's also creepy in the sense that he films everything that goes on in his house with these ladies. And then,
or S.E.X.Y does.
Or S.E.X.Y does, but he watches. And then, so he brings Melanie over, and he's showing her a video of him with 2 other ladies, like, to, like, impress her, I guess. I don't know. And then, so that kind of comes in later on when Jane calls in these girls, and, like, one of them's supposed to be, I guess, like, a submissive type person or whatever, and, like, the other is supposed to be, like, her boss or whatever. I don't know what term you use. Like, but not only that, they put out a video of them, I guess both of them mud wrestling. I think it was them mud wrestling.
That was later on, the mud wrestling thing.
Oh, okay. And so, like, he's watching that at the same time as, it's just a whole weird thing. It's like, dude, can you not get enough of this shit? Like, I mean, so the 2 ladies, who are doing, like, I guess, like a submissive thing or whatever, afterwards, he's kind of just playing with her, like, in a hot tub or, like, like jacuzzi or whatever. Like, after they've done their thing, now they're just kind of acting like regular people or whatever. And then S.E.X.Y, I guess, releases, like, kind of some kind of gas or something that kind of makes them pass out, I guess. And the Jane wakes up from it, saves Bono, who's, like, head's currently in the water, and takes him out of the water. And then she tries to bring out the other girl, but all that's left of her are her arms, because everything else has been disintegrated, I guess, from, like, I guess the acid thing or whatever.
I hate it when that happens.
And then Bono doesn't believe her. He thinks that she just had a dream, or maybe she got high, or whatever. Like, no, I saw it. It really happened. And S.E.X.Y is, like, making everyone paranoid, I guess, like I guess making him think that Jane is trying to, like, kill him, or I don't know, whatever, subvert him. And then, like, she's playing, like, mind games via her computer powers, which I'm not sure how being a computer would allow you to brainwash people, because that's more of like a thought thing. Like, I don't know.
I read that the next update for Siri. Yeah.
The Siri brainwashes you. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Good thing I don't have Siri or Alexa on my phone.
Or maybe I didn't read that.
Or maybe you didn't. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I'm not allowed to say that I read it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
So the other cool thing about this is that S.E.X.Y occasionally will show up in human form to us, the viewer, and she's, like, green and it's got this really fucked up hair
and weird ass makeup on her face.
Yeah, weird ass. And, like, she'll occasionally pop it, to, like, she'll do, like, this little thing, and that's supposed to symbolize her, like, fucking with Bono's brain to, like, make him forget or make him get worried about Jane. So they're basically are kind of, like, being suspicious of each other, because S.E.X.Y's trying to we're led to believe that S.E.X.Y is jealous of the women and wants Bono to himself. There is a twist at the end that kind of disproves this theory, but this is kind of what we're kind of being led to believe so far, is that she just doesn't like these women because they're, they're vying for his attention, and that, each should be hers and hers alone. And so at one point, he does actually kind of believe Jane that, like, maybe S.E.X.Y has become sort of sentient or whatever. And they try to, every time he tries to, like, open the door or whatever, he'll get, like, an electrical shock. When they go into, like, the mainframe, which is, like, a whole computer thing from that era. Everything was about the mainframe back then. Like, we're going to hack into the mainframe. What is the mainframe? No one ever explains what the mainframe is. But it's you hear it all the time in movies about computers, all the way from like the 80s into like the early 2000s. Always about the mainframe. I'm tired of hearing about the mainframe. Tell me what it is, and then we'll be done with it. But
well,
never.
Mainframe is a large, high-speed computer, especially one supporting numerous workstations or peripherals.
Okay.
The central processing unit of a primary memory of a computer. So all computers have a mainframe.
Okay. Well, now I know.
But like nowadays, they're not like, like the computer that I'm recording this on right now, has a mainframe, but it's not, the size of my bedroom. So
yeah, exactly. It's not like this huge computer, system. So Bono tries to, turn off the computer. He also gets shocked again. Obviously S.E.X.Y's not going down without a fight. And, she does some more shit. Kind of forgot. It's you want to take it away from here? Because I'm kind of forgetting a little bit of,
so okay. So the two, we lost the two chicks who came over.
Yeah.
They're dead.
They're all dead.
Yeah, they're all dead. Later on, two other women show up randomly, which S.E.X.Y allows in for some reason, even though she's acting all
that's the weird
jealous.
thing too about
that. And they end up watching this this mud wrestling thing on the TV, but it's actually a scene from a 1983 film called Hellcat Mud Wrestling. Mud Wrestlers. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah. They're watching that, and then they're acting like cats and wrestling in front of the TV while that's happening.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then at one point, I don't know if it was before or after this, S.E.X.Y pretends to be Jane and has sex with Bono.
Yes, that's right.
So he thinks he had sex with her and not S.E.X.Y. So I'm kind of confused by that. Like, so is S.E.X.Y a sentient being? Is she also a physical being too? Does she have physical form?
Yeah, there was never really a clear explanation as to that.
So Jane is in while this is happening, she's in this room, and there's like clothes in there randomly. And I just wanted to point out something. So she's naked, and she puts on these clothes, like this kind of like workout outfit, like with these like skin tight pants and like a sports bra sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then there's also a belt there, and she randomly puts that on. She's like worried about her life.
Yeah, I know.
But it has to be fashionable. Because putting that belt on was completely unnecessary.
It was. I see, at first I wondered if she was dressing like that to like show Bono that she was the real Jane or something like that. But then, the belt thing, I'm like, okay, that was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah. I understand she was trying to get out of the house and she didn't want to run out of the house naked, which I get. But the thing is you didn't have to take time to put that belt on top of it.
I know.
Because it's not like a physical belt that like goes into belt loops or anything. It's just a fashion belt that goes around around you, like the WWE, heavyweight champion belt or something, It's like
exactly.
So she's trying to get out, and there's like this old car from the previous owners in the garage, because when you sell a house you just leave the car behind.
Yeah, I mean that happens all the time, sure.
And so
previous owner was left in the car.
Yeah, and she's trying to figure out what to do to get out, and the garage door won't open because it's controlled by the computer as well, because everything is.
Yeah.
And she can't get out, and S.E.X.Y tries to run her over with the car.
Which, that was weird, because how could she control the car's computer if that's not part of the actual house that's been rigged to, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, Siri and Alexa can control cars.
Okay.
But this movie didn't seem to be like it took place in the future. This was 1989.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean,
but plus too, he didn't actually drive that car. That was just junk in his words. That was
so
lower. Yeah,
and,
whatever.
and
we
the
don't
fact
need
that it was just sitting there, I mean,
Yeah.
the battery was probably dead, and like other things, you know, it probably didn't work. So
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just the movie magic.
yeah, I was waiting for
Yeah.
for her to get into the car and escape and like just drive the car through the garage door. That's what I wanted to see
I
happen.
mean, that would make sense, but yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping that because Jane, for all her flaws, was the only character I actually wanted to live.
Yeah, me too.
I could care less about all the rest of them, especially Bono. Or
Especially
Bono.
Bono.
Not
Yeah,
Bono,
'cause she-
Bono, yeah, I'm sorry.
Bono, sorry, not Bono. Yeah, Bono from U2's not in the movie.
No. Darn it.
He's not the sleazy record producer.
Yeah.
He's just a regular record producer. No, yeah, Jane tries to kill S.E.X.Y with the hatchet, and I mean like a cleaver.
Yeah.
By hitting the wires, and then S.E.X.Y makes the wires basically tie her up and choke her to death, essentially.
Yeah, they grow and they kind of like wrap around her like they're like some kind of like sentient like I don't know, vines or something, you know. So
yeah,
weird.
it was. My whole thing is, why was S.E.X.Y allowing some of the stuff to happen where she could potentially lose this fight, like the arms, for example, like the lady's arms, or for example, the clothes. That was the other thing. So S.E.X.Y was able to burn the woman in the tanning booth to like nothing, but yet left her clothes there. Okay,
Well,
why didn't she?
well, the woman in the tanning bed was controlled by S.E.X.Y, but I think outside of that, you know, like just the floor or wherever the clothes are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can't do anything
Yeah.
about that. All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that would be true though, but the ending's a little bit different because the ending is she does have control of something that's not computer related. So
yeah, go ahead and talk about that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So basically, the ending of this very short film, by the way, it was only 80 minutes long, and the credits are about 3 minutes. And you got all this film time, so we're really only looking at maybe an hour of actual stuff going on in the movie. And so yeah, she kills Jane by tying her up with the wires, choke her, and then so she's dead. And then she does like this sort of like hypnosis on Bono. To forget everything that happened, so that it's as if none of this ever happened because all the bodies are removed and things like that.
Yeah.
And then and she's like doing this thing like everything is okay, everything's going to be fine, like this sort of hypnotic thing. And then she throws them into like the TV, killing them, and that's the end of the movie. That's it. That's the end of.
And his screaming is like hilarious.
Oh yeah, the screaming. Yeah, that's right.
It starts to get higher pitched when he's inside the TV.
Yes, that's right.
Like it's not even his like it's like they took his voice and pitched it up.
Yeah.
So
that's the movie. It's the whole movie right there.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot going on really, except for the nude scenes. Pretty much took up about half the movie.
Yeah. So there are only 3 reviews for this movie on the Internet Movie Database.
Wow.
Do you want to hear one or two of them?
Do both. Yeah, sure, do both.
Up to some. Okay. First one, there's a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
From El Wormo.
Yeah.
This was on March 8th of 2017. The headline is, "Hey you, come out from behind that box." A record producer with the improbably epic name Bono Zorro has wired his groovy bachelor pad up to a voice-activated computer, which can do things like turn lights on and run a bath at his command. It's a central environmental control system. It's a central environment control system. He tells one budding young pop starlet, or S.E.X.Y for short. Get it? No. Oh, yeah, it is S.E.X.Y. Like if you go with Central Environment Control System.
Okay.
S.E.X.Y, I guess.
Okay.
It still doesn't make sense.
It does.
No. Let's just say what Bono Zorro lacks in acronym skills. He's more than makes up for with his ability to coax hot young vixens back to his lair and into his jacuzzi. However, S.E.X.Y, which is basically an Amstrad computer with a TV and a box of random lights attached, which is true, soon gets jealous of Bono and his female friends and starts to spoil the fun. This is a truly mesmerizing slice of hilariously crap 1980s cheese. Wonky dubbing, ludicrous script, almost zombie-like acting. Everyone involved comes off like the worst actor ever. It's a Gareth Mangini Dark Place episode, but for real. From what I've read, the film had a troubled history and possibly never even came out, but seems to have now been given some form of release under the title Urge to Kill, but its title Attack of the Killer Computer makes more sense. The pic of a dark-haired woman holding an axe, which currently is displayed on the IMDb thumbnail, seems to be artwork from the DVD release, but has nothing to do with the movie at all. I recommend you go to the IMDb page and look at that if you haven't anyway.
Yeah, it's weird. It
has nothing to do with it. It's like a model holding an axe with a skull next to her and stuff, and she's
Why didn't they just
bloody.
do a picture of S.E.X.Y? I mean, like,
I don't know. I found some better posters for the movie, so
okay.
I'm not going to read this other one that's a 3 out of 10 because it's like really long. It's like somebody decided to write a novel about a crappy 1989 movie. And the one thing I do like is they compare S.E.X.Y to Synergy from the Gem and the Holograms cartoon.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever watched Gem and the Holograms. But
yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Synergy was like the computer that ran things and controlled things, and I'm just like, yeah, okay.
But she didn't kill people, did she? No.
Yes, on Saturday mornings they were.
Oh, well, yeah, never mind.
No.
Well, it's good you compared. I was wondering why.
They did do a live. I want to cover it sometime because I heard it's really bad, but a live action Gem movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing a trailer for that. Then, like, they only put it in the theater.
It bombed. It was like in the theaters for like 3 days or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it looks horrible, but they should do a remake of it as a horror film.
That would be cool.
Yeah, so here's a 3 out of 10. See It to Believe It from Leo F. Wine Draka on January 9th of this year of 2023.
Okay.
The Urge to Kill is a bargain basement slice of trash from Derek Ford, the sexploitation director known for fare such as The Wife Swappers and Keep It Up, Jack. For his final movie, he unwisely decided on this supernatural slasher in which a record executive's high-tech computer goes all HAL, like in 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's a good comparison. And begins bumping off his conquests. Never released and shot on video, this is a cheap and silly little effort mainly designed to showcase nudity from a succession of blonde bimbos characters. The hero, Bono Zorro, or Bono Zorro, I'm sorry, I keep wanting to say Bono, as played by a dancer with little acting ability, has to be one of the sleaziest in all of cinema.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, that's one review. There's this website called letterboxd.com, which people are probably familiar with. They got some reviews on there that I found. This one here set by reviewed by Bleeding Skull, which is another website that covers like horror films and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the coke-fueled 24-hour party you expect from a movie about a possessed computer belonging to a porn hound producer. Truth be told, the urge to kill hasn't the strongest urge to kill. Would-be victims lounge around in the jacuzzi and spend much time wondering if they should call the super. They should, but they don't. There are long periods where people shuffle around the house or talk on the phone. The movie feels like Death Spa's British lethargic cousin who hung over from an actual coke-fueled 24-hour party that you somehow weren't invited to. But even though the urge to kill is plotting and repetitive at times, it's still got surprises and plenty of sleaze. There's a handful of creative kills, including death by toothbrush. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Death by an electric toothbrush, which, next time I use my electric toothbrush, I'm going to be kind of a little scared here.
Yeah.
And the camera often rests serenely on nipples. There's also a scene where an S&M escort licks every single one of Bono's greasy fingers.
Oh, God, that's right. Forgot about that.
This sequence unfolds in real time, and it is at once magnetic and nauseating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a interesting review there. Okay,
I put that out of my mind. I forgot about that.
So any final thoughts here before we wrap things up?
No, man. I'll just recommend it. I think it's great. I think it's like a perfect movie, really, to be honest. It's so bad, man, but you gotta hand it to the people who come up with this stuff, these ideas, and just go ahead with making with like a shoestring budget, it looks like. So that's just me. It's my recommendation. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine. Okay, but
my only stray thought, besides of anything, was like I really loved the noises of the computer for some reason.
Oh yeah,
they were so like old school, like I'm sorry, it's just so stupid.
No, I know, totally. Yeah,
I want to find like that noise and use it in like a cheesy movie or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I have no other thoughts about this movie. It is what it is. And so folks, just be sure to check out our TeePublic, our Patreon. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, so Suri doesn't kill me.
Hank.
Because that's what she told me.
She told you, yeah.
If she does, we will never have more episodes.
Yep.
So give us a 5-star review, so we can.
Yeah.
And or anywhere else you can review it. Also, share the show with your friends. Subscribe where you can. Go to all2real2.com. Yeah, links to all of the different places you can hear us. Besides where you're listening right now, if you decide you want to switch up. But if not, this seems to be working for you, I bet. This place that you, the listener, are listening right now is the best place for you to listen to it.
Yes. Best place in the world.
But we also have a YouTube if you want to listen to it there. So check that out and subscribe and share. Just share. Share the heck out of our share the heck out of our show. I don't know where this voice come from, but anyways. Be kind to each other, Be kind to your technology or it might kill you.
It's true.
Yes. Make sure your computer's turned off before you, tramp around with some scantily clad women in your apartment.
Yes, gotta make sure you do that.
Because you never know, your laptop might come alive and kill you.
Yeah.
Yes. But remember, there is two people out there. There are two people out there that love you. That's me and Sesame.
Yep.
And until next time, folks. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.